Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Shirley Talk. I'm Mike Mulrooney.
I'm Kelly Duckworth.
Kelly, you're a doctor?
Nope.
Nurse?
Nope.
Accountant?
No. Definitely not an accountant.
How about an attorney?
No.
No? All right. Well, we do that because if you hear anything that we've talked about today, please check it out with a professional. We're here for, we say educational purposes loosely because typically we talk about cancer and it's not... it's educational, but it's not entertainment. But anyway, please get an opinion from a professional if you hear us say something today. But today we're going to talk about charitable gaming, and I took my glasses off and I can't see the list in front of us. But last week we were in Frankfurt speaking to some legislators about the benefits of charitable gaming. And if you're familiar with Shirley's Way at all, we're pretty in depth in charitable gaming. We got how many raffles?
3 weekly with the occasional one a month, so technically 4.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that you see charitable gaming and they have number 1's bingo, number 2 is pull tabs, and number 3 was electronic pull tabs, and we just went complete opposite and dove into the hardest thing possible.
Yeah, we got into electronic pull tabs. If you're not aware, Shirley's Way here in Louisville, Kentucky has a charitable gaming room that's got 35 electronic pull tab machines. Before that, we started doing online raffles, so taking what you would see in like a Catholic charity event. I pick on the Catholics. I'm Catholic, so I can do that. But, you see them selling tickets for different things, and we thought, well, why don't we do this online? Why are we still selling paper tickets? So that's what we did. We built websites. So we were asked last week to come to Frankfurt and talk to some legislators about the benefits of charitable gaming with an emphasis on the 40% rule. If you're not familiar with charitable gaming, and I'll probably get this wrong, but the 40% rule has never really affected us. It affected us this quarter because our large Queen of Hearts raffle paid out. It hit. So it's never affected us till now. But the 40% rule basically says, in a nutshell, you have to make 40% profit. And some people are going to disagree with that statement, but that's basically what it is. So what you bring in, minus the rent that you have to pay, minus legal fees, minus supplies, minus everything, you have to hit that 40%. And, that can be difficult sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you've got the government telling you how to run your business. And if you've been to business school, and a couple of the people laughed when I said this, but it's true. You don't always turn a profit in most new businesses for the first 2 to 5 years. You have to have cash sitting in the bank to take care of the business for the first couple of years in case it goes south. So you're asking a charity to build a following, build a business, and turn 40% in the first year. And, if you've ever started a charity, it's not that easy. You have to build a following. You have to convince people of your cause. You have to convince them to come out and buy your tickets for your raffles or come out and play bingo. And then you have to buy your supplies. We're getting ready to get into bingo. And we were going to load up our storage room with everything we're going to need for the bingo. But now we can't. Why? Because we have to limit the amount of supplies that we buy right offhand because it could affect our 40% issue. If we put on the books this month that we bought 80 cases of pull tabs and 6 cases of paper bingo sheets and all this stuff, it could throw us under the 40%. But if we run out of supplies for the bingo, we're going to be in trouble because the people aren't going to stay there if we say, oh, we ran out of pull tabs tonight. And it just doesn't work. But the suppliers, they're having trouble keeping supplies in. So we were told if we're going to do bingo, we need to let them know 3 weeks in advance so they can order our bingo sheets, so they can get their pull tabs in, so we can get all that stuff. So we need a 3-month or a 3-week turnaround to get the supplies to make sure we have what we need to run the bingo. But if we fill the room up, it affects our bottom line. It's kind of a weird situation. And then one of the legislators say, well, and I get the reason why it was put in place at the beginning. 20 years ago when it was put in to give the bingos some leverage on facility rent or the ability to put some leverage and put some pressure on the bingo suppliers to keep their supplies down low. But it's a different world. Everything in gaming is highly regulated. They can come in at any time and take everything we have and do an audit. And they've done that once already. And whatever, they can have whatever they want. But it really puts a burden on the charity for this kind of thing.
Well, like you said, for us, it's not usually a huge deal, but for smaller charities, I mean, it could kill them.
It really could.
Yeah.
If you don't hit that 40%, you're licensed. There's a process, and they went through that, the Gaming Commission, on the process. If it's the first time you didn't get 40%, you could have your license thrown in ESCO. You could get a warning. And I get it. They have a process for that. That's cool. But, these bingo facility owners are making a killing on rent. And I've talked to the bingo facility owners, a couple of them, and they kind of laughed when I asked about adjusting my rent if we don't hit the 40%. And they was just like, no.
Well, yeah, why would they?
No.
We'll go out and find another charity that can afford it.
Yeah, so that thought process isn't reality. This is reality. The reality is you're not going to convince and talk your bingo supplier supplying your supplies to drop the price on cases. It's just like anything, though. You get better pricing if you buy quantity. But if I'm only buying 5 cases a week, because if I buy more, it's going to throw me under my 40%, I'm not going to buy more because I don't want to fall. So I'm not going to get the quantity discount I would if I say, hey, bring me 50 cases of King's pull tabs, because I want to make sure we have enough and we get the quantity discount. But we can't do that. So anyway, that's the 40% rule as we see it. It hasn't come into effect on us because our Queen of Hearts drawings have done so well, but this quarter it did. We were below it, and luckily it's a yearly average. But when our Queen of Hearts hit a few months ago, it was at about $350,000, and we had to pay that out. That killed our bottom line. So anyway, that's where we're at with the 40% rule. We really think it needs to go away or reduce it. I don't want the government anywhere near what we're trying to do to raise money for our mission.
Yep.
The next thing, Kelly, what do we got there?
Let's talk about the lovely random number generator. I don't even know where to start on this one. So originally when we started Queen of Hearts a couple years ago, we were selling paper tickets and everything was great. But then COVID was, starting to come around, and Mike had this great idea of let's put everything online, and they signed an emergency regulation that allowed us to use a random number generator on calculator.net. Pretty much what this means is that if I bought the first ticket, my ticket number was 1. The last person that bought tickets for that week was 500. You go to calculator.net 5 minutes before your drawing, you put in ticket number 1. And then the last ticket was number 500. You press a button, it generates a winner. Congratulations, number 320. Go to your Excel sheet and look at the ticket number or whatever for 320, and that's your winner. And it was as easy as that. And we did that for 10, 11 months, I guess.
Yeah, quite a while during COVID. They signed the emergency regulation, and we had these websites built previous, and we were selling tickets online and printing the tickets out. We had it down pat, but it took, we were selling paper tickets. We'd have to have somebody there on site every day during the week, finding volunteers to set up there, and all they did was sit there and buy tickets, and it worked out. But you have to have 15 to pull off what we did. We had to have 15 to 20 volunteers a week. Not only we had a rotation of volunteers, but asking somebody to set up there all day, plus they're buying lunch, so they're losing money. But have those volunteers set up there. Then on the day of the drawing, you have to have, because everybody waits till the last minute. And when we were selling paper tickets, we had to have at least 10 people there every Monday to handle ticket sales and count the money. And it was crazy that we never lost or any money disappeared. But you talk about the amount of cash that was coming in.
You also had to hire police officers to come
we did.
And have security.
We had to have security because when the pot got that high, we were selling $70,000 in tickets a week. $70,000 cash floating around. You talk about nervous. And then when the protests started later that year, we shut a couple of the drawings down because we were worried that trouble might come down and really cause a problem. So, random number generators and digital drawings is the future, whether we like it or not, because people can sit in their living room, watch the drawing, and we can use a random number generator and not need a bunch of volunteers to process all the tickets.
Yeah, it takes 2 people, one to do the drawing because everything has to be live streamed, and then one person to run the computer. But during COVID, it was great. Everybody could stay at home and stay away and still buy their tickets and support us because we would not have made it through COVID.
No.
Without...
We would have shut down.
Yeah, without our online raffles. I mean, that's what really kept us going. And it's crazy that now, after... when did that end?
I don't remember.
A few months back, I guess, something like that.
Yeah.
So now we're back to putting tickets in a cylinder, but you can still purchase them online. So now people buy their tickets online. We have to go in a few hours before the drawing, and we have to print every single ticket that's bought and rip them and waste all of that paper and put them in a cylinder and just draw out a ticket, then throw all the paper away.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we these drawings, we could have made them even simpler. We use calculator.net, but when the emergency regulation ended, the Gaming Commission sent out a tech document that was pretty long that our tools had to meet before we were allowed to continue using the calculator.net random number generator. It was allowed to use for many, many months, and now there's a tech document that, it's going to cost us if we can find a manufacturer. Here's the problem. We can follow that tech document. If we follow that tech document, we have to spend anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 to have our tools certified by that for that document by an outside agency. I've talked to the guy. It could be anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 to have it certified. And then in the state of Kentucky, it's a 3-tier system. It has to come from a manufacturer to the distributor, and a distributor to the charity. So they're not going to do this for free. So we make $1. Tickets are $2 to buy our tickets, and we make $1. Our process has it down to less than a penny to process all these tickets. So we're at 99 cents. So if the manufacturer helps us and gets certified in the state of Kentucky, they're going to want at least 20 to 25 cents per ticket. So now we're down to 75 cents that we make per ticket. The distributor's going to want a piece of that. They're going to want another 20 or 25 cents. So now we're down to making 50 cents per ticket once everybody has their hands in it. And then we have to pay our web guy to retool the website for the new tools. So it's going to be a small fortune to continue or to meet the current regulations that the Gaming Commission wants us to do, the tech doc. And it just doesn't make any sense when for 8 months we were allowed to use calculator.net, export our data, use calculator.net, and pick a winner. And we've actually streamed them to YouTube. We've turned these drawings into game shows every week. So we had it down pat. The regulation ended. We never thought it would end. The emergency regulation, we never thought it would end, but it did. And now we're back to the old ways.
Well, and another big thing that we were working on, I don't know if any of you listening are familiar with like Louder Than Life, just big music festivals that they have on the weekends, or think about sporting events. I was at an NFL game a couple years ago, and they did a split the pot drawing, and I think I sent you a picture.
You did.
I think before
Cowboys.
halftime, yeah, go Cowboys. I think before halftime it got up to like $900,000 or something like that. You couldn't physically do that with tickets. I mean, they did that online, obviously, but you got to think about that. That's 450,000 tickets.
Yeah, it's not efficient.
There's
but that's
no
one
way.
thing we've been pushing for in here in the state, to be able to do digital drawings, and we could do raffles at halftime at basketball games and football games, and it's very doable. But printing tickets, it takes too long.
Yep.
We could not do it. And with, if it was a concert event that allow us to do it, some of these concert events have anywhere from 10 to 50,000 people. You could not process that many tickets, but the money raised doing digital drawings and using random number generators would really change small charities like us.
You also have to think about all your volunteers you'd have to get to walk around and sell tickets and things like that. But I mean, again, with the online raffles and things, you don't have all of that cash flowing around. People are literally sitting at home. It's a secure website. We don't see any of that information. I'll get people that call me and they'll accidentally purchase something twice and think that I did it. We don't have access to credit cards. So, I mean, all of that is just so much safer than us handling $70,000 a week in cash.
Yeah, we get so lucky with the amount of people and the good people we've had, but there's so many people that have asked to volunteer, and I'll look up on their social media pages. I'm like, no, they're not touching cash. But that's what you get into. If we were to sell tickets at these large events, you would probably have people you'd have to get from a temp agency to handle your tickets and handle the cash, and I'm not sure it would ever come back. You would have to be very trustworthy of the people handling the money, and it's just very dangerous. With online raffles, everything's tracked. We can run a report and tell you exactly who bought tickets, when, what day, what ticket numbers they got, all kinds of stuff. So there's no getting around how much money you spent for the year on raffles. So cash used to be good. Love cash, but it's dangerous in today's world.
Something else that was frustrating was not allowing us to run raffles for other organizations. We had a couple different churches. Obviously, during COVID, they couldn't have their annual picnics that, I don't know, what do they make off of a normal weekend picnic? 20 grand probably? I don't know.
Some of the bigger ones make way more than that.
Yeah, I mean, and they weren't able to have them last year. I mean, we worked for several weeks, had meetings with a local church here, and we had it all worked out. We were going to do an online drawing for them. They had raffle items they were going to raffle off. I mean, we had it all set, and we weren't allowed to do it.
Yeah, we were ready to do it, and by law, the difference is if we ran the raffle, we could donate the money back to them. But the way the Archdiocese of Louisville wanted it done is we used their gaming license, their checking account, deposit to money into their account, and they were going to make a donation back to us for running it and helping them out. And that's the part that's illegal. We could have ran it. Because our articles of incorporation say how we can give the money and distribute it, it would meet our current mission, and we could have run it that way. But the Archdiocese wanted it backwards, and the Gaming Commission wouldn't allow us to do it. They told us you cannot do it for a profit, and it's all in the wording. I mean, it wouldn't be a profit; it'd be a donation back to us for helping them with their raffles, but they wouldn't let us do it.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah. So anyway, we should be able to, and I don't know why it matters. We've got the websites. Most charities, smaller organizations, schools, churches, they don't have the money to build the websites that we have. And we could have retrofitted those sites in about an hour and would be ready to go to run their raffles and save them tons of money, help them make some money, all for a donation.
We're all about sharing.
It is.
And helping,
Yeah.
We want everybody to get help.
Yep. Level the playing field. And we've said this over and over and over. For-profit gaming and non-profit gaming are two separate organizations monitored, I guess, by two separate government entities. But the for-profit gaming is allowed to do a whole lot more than we are.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, if you look at the lottery and the other machines here in town at a different location, the lottery can put scratch-offs in every convenience store, every bar in town, and they can pay that bar a commission for having those machines and having those scratch-offs and things like that, and selling lottery tickets. They can pay them a commission for selling those things for them. But how does nonprofit gaming work?
We can't do that.
No, we can't do it at all. We want to put a pull tab vending machine in every bar in town, but we're not allowed to because we have to have a volunteer at those locations at all times when the pull tabs can be sold to set and pay out the winners. Why can't we pay the bartender or the bar a small commission on how many pull tabs are sold, just like the lottery can do? And people love paper pull tabs. They love them. And we could put one of these vending machines in several places in Louisville, but because the way the regulation is written versus for-profit gaming, we can't do it.
Yeah, and then our machines, if you aren't familiar with electronic pull tabs, I'll try to give you a visual. Our 35 gaming machines that we have now are pretty much just a monitor
You said 35. There's another place in town that has over 1,000 gaming machines. So that's number one. We're only allowed to have max 35 machines at our location.
Yeah, but you have a monitor, just like a computer monitor that you would, picture, and it's just sitting on a cabinet. And the games are fun, and people love them once they finally sit down. But when you look at them, they're not slot machines. They are pull tabs. But these newer machines that they're coming out with, I mean, if we were able to get them, it would be a game changer.
It really would.
They're huge. The full touch screens, I mean, they look like slot machines.
These machines were approved for nonprofit gaming back on a previous administration until I was told the governor walked in and said, those look too much like slot machines, and I want the cabinet smaller, I want the display smaller, I want the sound turned down, I want the graphics taken out. And they've really pulled out a lot of things that get people's attention.
Yep.
But for-profit gaming can have all of those things, but nonprofit gaming, we get a shell. And when people sit down and play our machines, they absolutely love them. But when they first walk in and look at them, they look at them kind of funny, like, what in the world do you have?
Most people have never seen those or anything like that.
No. But level the playing field. Give us the ability to have the same type of machines, or, the machines we saw a few weeks ago are available and can be played in many other states in the United States, in this country. But we got to get Kentucky on board to change these machines because people love to play these games. And, when we first started gaming, I was a little nervous, and I've always heard, again, I grew up Catholic, so I've watched games, and I watch how people play pull tabs and things like that. And when we first started doing these machines, I was a little nervous because I didn't want people to come in and spend their money on games when they should be paying their rent or their mortgage or their food. And I was shocked how much money people walk in with cash in their pockets.
Yeah, well, you just got to think that they're going to spend it somewhere else if they don't spend it at your place.
Yeah.
And we have several people that tell us all the time, we would much rather come here and lose money here than go to some other location in town, because we know here we're not keeping your lights on. We're helping a cancer patient, with their food or their mortgage or whatever it is. So any money lost there is going back into the community.
Yeah, they told us that often. And also, we've talked to several people that play our machines and play a pull tabs, and like, you know what? How many vacations do you go on a year? And I said, well, as a family, we try to go on one, sometimes two. We're pretty fortunate. And they said, well, we don't like vacations. We don't like the beach. We don't like to ski. We like to play machines.
Yep.
So they save their vacation money that you would call vacation money because they like to sit and play machines.
Yep.
And that's what they do with their money. What we would consider vacation money, they consider their entertainment money, and they like to play machines. So, to take that away from people that really enjoy them, plus the money comes back and helps us, we got to think about that. But the level of the playing field, give us the ability to have the same style machines or better cabinets, better displays, better sound, better graphics, and let us have the same opportunities that the for-profit gaming has.
In my opinion, it should not be a competition. Because in all honesty, Shirley's Way will probably never make as much money as some of these other locations.
No.
So it's I don't even know why we would be on their radar at all. We're helping a totally different cause.
Yeah.
So it's just frustrating.
Yeah, and the last thing really is and I call it a tax, because anytime you pay a government entity money, to me it's a tax. But it's a fee. They're going to argue it's a fee. And that's okay. It's just wording. But to me, it's a tax. We have to pay a tax on every dollar and replay dollar that comes through our facility.
I think this is the most confusing part.
It is.
I was trying to explain it to my dad, and he was like, I don't get it.
Yeah. So over the past few years, we've had these gaming machines, $1.9 million. Now, keep in mind, we've given away over $1 million. So $1.9 million cash was put in our machines. We should pay the tax on that dollar, but we don't pay it on that dollar.
Nope, we play it on the dollar replayed.
Yeah, so replay, here's the way it works. The replay dollar is if I sit down at the machines and I win $500, if I walk up to the counter and cash that $500 out, that play ends, and we pay the tax on the $500, or I guess the $500 that's won. But if the person doesn't cash it out, and they keep playing the machines, every time they win, if they win $500, that's replay money. If they win another 50, that's replay money. If they win 10, that's replay money. All that replay money adds up. So we've got a cash in total, 1.9 million, and we've got a replay total of 7.4 million. Replay total is money replayed. We never saw that money come in. So instead of paying the tax on the cash in, the 1.9, we pay a tax on the $7.4 million. So that's a difference of over $40-something thousand in tax that we have to pay the government for having our machines. So we never saw that money. That money is virtual. That money was replayed. So it's called replay money. But yeah, we don't pay the tax on the 1.9 million. We pay the tax on the 7 point whatever million replay dollar that was on the report.
And think about how many people $43,000 could have helped.
Yeah, it was a over $40,000 difference in fees that we had to pay because we pay it on the replay money and not on the cash in. So, you know, and again, that was over a couple years that money was brought in that we've had these machines. But yeah, it's a lot. The $43,000 extra that we had to pay could have done a whole lot for people. One of our goals when we started was I've always wanted to pay a cancer patient's house off. You know, $43,000 would have been
would have paid mine off.
Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah.
So, but that's the gaming rules that and regulations that we would love to see modified, changed. The biggest ones, obviously, one's 40% rule, and allowing us to do our digital raffles and using the random number generators that we were allowed to do during COVID. If it was good enough for COVID, it should be good enough now.
Yep, two things. So one, go to our YouTube channel. Go to Shirley's Way and look back a year ago at how we were doing the random number generator and the calculator.net, and you can see how easy it was compared to how we're having to do it now. And two, check out Mike's video of him testifying last Monday in Frankfurt. He did really good, and we're hoping some of these things get changed. But
yeah, if you go to shirleytalk.org, that's our YouTube channel. We'll take you straight to it, and the main video on that page is the testimony in Frankfurt. But we wanted to do this today just to really kind of add some more meat to what we talked about in Frankfurt because we didn't have a whole lot of time to really elaborate on some of these things, but that's the reason why we wanted to do this today.
Yep.
So, Kelly, how can people help Shirley's Way?
Well, first, go to our website at shirleysway.org. We are pushing for $1,010 monthly donors. We're about a quarter of the way there. And I'd really like to see at least half, so about 500 people sign up before the end of the year. But like I said, shirleysway.org. You can check out more about what we do, sign up to become a monthly donor, and then look at our raffles that we have. We have Queen of Hearts, Joker's Wild, and Wheel of Cash. Those are Monday, Wednesday, Friday during the week. They're all split the pot drawings, and they're all $2 tickets that you can buy online.
All right. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.